Hello kind people of YouTube and welcome back to another video. As mentioned in my first video of the day that I posted a couple hours ago, there were more stories that I didn't include in that video, but let's talk about them now and let's just get straight into it with the first story from A&B Crypto about a Japanese politician who had some kind words about cryptocurrency and XRP in particular. Takeshi Fujimaki, and former banker turned politician and a representative of one of the largest oppositional political parties, Nippon Ishin, expressed his views on the future of cryptocurrencies, especially about XRP and Ripple's developments in a recent Twitter thread. The lawmaker sent out a barrage of tweets on how cryptocurrency-related experiments are being conducted all over the world to improve the current payment financial system. Referring to the XRP network topology map, Fujimaki mentioned how the XRP nodes are spread throughout the world and raised a concern that technology is advancing rapidly and that Japan should get involved in it as soon as possible. He started, "The latest cryptographic asset-related technology has come so far. If we do not get involved in such advanced fields, Japan will be lagging," saying Japan's technology is amazing and Japan celebrating cash settlements is going to be left in the world more and more. He continued by saying that the number of nodes in Japan was low when compared to other countries in the world and that Japan is still 100 years behind and is still in the paper society politics. This is something a lot of people don't realize about Japan, because Japan has this image of being very technologically advanced. But it's one of the few countries in the developed world where people still regularly use checks. Checks are completely outdated technology and much of the world has completely left them behind after the 80s. But the US, Japan, and France are three countries, and pretty much the three only countries in the developed world where those are still common. So Japan is in many ways very much behind as far as internet access is concerned as well, and before smartphones took a hold in Japan, which by the way happened later than in much of the West. The ways that the internet was being used in Japan were much more minor than in many Western countries. This image of Japan technologically advanced, that is very much something that comes from the media and is not necessarily true in everyday life. But let's get back to the article for a moment. He continued, "If the use of this XRP is representative of the use of cryptographic currency, then from this map it turns out that there is a possibility that the cryptographic currency will develop explosively in the future." You're gonna notice it's a bit of an odd translation. I don't know if he tweeted this in English or if someone translated it, but this is a commonly bad translation of Japanese, because Japanese does not have a singular and plural, and Japanese does not have, not prepositions. I can't think of the term. It does not typically use some of the same words that are common grammatical elements in a language like English. And a lot of the times when people translate Japanese, they try to add them in, and it results in a bit of a stilted and unusual grammar. Fujimaki added that cryptocurrencies like XRP along with Ripple's technology would be really beneficial for developing countries and in countries where people do not have bank accounts and do not believe in the credibility of the country. Moreover, he mentioned how Bill Gates Foundation's Moja Loop, a software that uses Ripple's Interledger protocol, was deployed in Kenya in January of 2018. He ended his tweet by saying that other countries in the world were already experimenting to develop a solution by inculcating XRP and other cryptocurrencies in their payment solution advancements, but Japan was lagging behind in such experiments. The rest of this article is just Twitter posts from other people and we don't really need them. Okay. I mean, it's very nice to have a Japanese politician talk so positively about cryptocurrencies and XRP in particular here. But I want you to keep something in mind, that this article is not mentioning that you probably don't know if you not either live in Japan or have a lot of interest in Japan, maybe have researched Japan extensively. Nippon Ishin is very much a fringe party. Here they're saying one of the largest opposition political parties. It is actually the 6th or 7th largest party in the country. It is very small. It just about has enough votes to get into the diet there at all. And almost all of the votes it does have are from directly around Osaka, because their party leader is I forgot if he was a mayor or governor. He holds some high political position in Osaka. And they were actually created from a local organization. It's a very young party. I think 2015 it was launched. But this is a fringe, far-right, extreme nationalist party that does not represent the political space in the country in general, even though Japan politically is very much right-leaning. Most of the major parties in Japan are right-leaning, but Nippon Ishin is like far right, and is very much seen as very much not respected. So don't get the idea that this is representative of Japan, of the opinions of Japanese politicians in general, or that this party or this person in particular are representative or well respected in the country. This is very much far on the fringes. And I feel like this article is positively misrepresenting that by saying by just naming him a representative of one of the largest oppositional parties. That still makes it a very small party, and not one that is respected, not one that is respectable. One might add to that as well, because it's just so far to the extremes. So just thought I'd give that disclaimer, some of that context, because a lot of times you have the advantage here that I'm very, if I might say so myself, I'm an expert on Japan. I speak Japanese, I've studied Japan extensively, I have a degree to show for it. So we get a lot of stories that don't get the context right when they're talking about Japan, or don't provide the context at all, and that is understandable if you just want to report on these things and you don't already have that information. It takes a lot of time to research all of this properly, but just letting you guys know, this is not quite as positive as it's being presented here. Now, the good thing is, this is a Japanese politician. I believe an elected politician, but I do not know, I have a general idea of the current political system, but I don't know a lot of the minor politicians by name in Japan at the moment. So I don't know if this particular person is important in the party or if he holds a major position anywhere in the country. But still, seeing a politician take to Twitter, talk about how promising XRP, Ripple, and cryptocurrencies could be for Japan, that Japan needs to get on this, that is very promising. And we might have some hints that Japan is trying to get on all of this stuff in the next article. Japan's financial regulator may approve crypto ETFs, which would put them a bit ahead of the US at the moment. Japan's financial services agency is apparently open to approving crypto exchange-traded funds. A Bloomberg report on Monday, citing a person familiar with the matter, said that the FSA is currently ascertaining institutional interest in ETFs that track cryptocurrencies and could ultimately give them the go-ahead. Japan's ruling Liberal Democratic Party will reportedly submit draft legislation by March 2019 that could include such a move through amendments to existing financial rules. The bill, which would also bring in more self-regulatory oversight of the industry and class many ICO tokens as securities, could come into law by 2020. However, Bloomberg added that the FSA has now dropped plans to include approval for trading crypto derivatives on financial exchanges due to concerns the products would mainly lead to speculation. The increased scrutiny of the crypto space in Japan follows a major hack of the Coincheck exchange in January that saw around $533 million in cryptocurrencies stolen. So this looks like a very uncertain situation, and right now all we have are unnamed sources familiar with the matter, so who knows how much this really means. But the LDP is very much a party that is open to business, that is highly supportive of business, and that also has a lot of corrupt politicians in it, but which is unfortunately something that that runs through a lot of the Japanese business and political world. It is very, very corrupt. The country is working fantastically well as far as safety and stuff like that is concerned, but politics is very corrupt. And so you have a very business-friendly party, which is always open to making rich people richer, which Bitcoin ETFs, honestly, that is one of the things they do, or crypto ETFs. ETFs are not for your average person. ETFs are for institutional investors, are for millionaires and billionaires. So it makes sense that they would be looking at these and that they are going to see dollar bills in their eyes, or rather yen bills. But we're gonna have to wait what exactly this turns out to be. But Japan has been relatively strict on cryptos, outlawing a lot of stuff that is legal in other countries. But it looks like in the last couple months, more and more people within the Japanese government have come over to the idea of at least loosening those restrictions a bit, of if not allowing crypto trading proper, then at least allowing some kinds of products built on top of crypto, and this looks like a step in that direction. Let's talk about another country where the government is just turning into an issue, and that is the US. San Francisco-based cryptocurrency exchange Kraken has said that the cost of handling government subpoenas is fast becoming a barrier to entry in the US. On Saturday, the exchange tweeted an infographic from its 2018 transparency report, indicating that the law enforcement and other inquiries it has received from various government agencies around the world have almost tripled year on year. The firm received a total of 475 subpoenas in 2018 compared to 160 in 2017, with the majority coming from US agencies. The UK came in second with 61 requests and Germany third with 34. Now keep in mind, these numbers growing like that looks very impressive, but keep in mind, crypto also went significantly more mainstream year to year. So it makes sense, as they're probably doing more trading, as more people are using their platform, that government also would be interested in more transactions. You can see why many businesses choose to block US users, Kraken said in its tweet. Breaking down the US figures, the agency making highest number of inquiries at Kraken was Homeland Security with 91 subpoenas. That was followed by the FBI with 67 and the Drug Enforcement Administration with 40. The SEC and CFTC made 29 combined. Kraken said in a Twitter thread that it gets requests for all transactions which could be petabytes of data when they actually only need the withdrawals from last week for one guy. Such inquiries are taxing on the firm's resources as they often require a significant amount of education and back and forth, it said. This is something interesting that a lot of people don't realize. When government investigations are looking into stuff like this, into finances, especially when new technologies are involved, there are a lot of very intelligent people and a lot of technological experts working at all of those US agencies. But when it comes to stuff like this, they often don't know exactly what they're looking for or don't quite understand the implications of the data they're requesting. And generally, they'd rather request too much than too little. And then you get into situations like this where they request all data instead of the exact data that they need. And that, of course, understandably is a problem for a platform like Kraken. They need to spend some time in conversation with the government. They need to get the data ready. They need to transfer the data. They need to clean up the data in a way that that doesn't infringe on any other laws. There are a lot of potential issues there. When asked why they'd receive more inquiries from the US than other nations, the exchange replied, US is about 1/5 of clients but 2/3 of requests. US agencies are much more active and are much less surgical. For many requests, we have no matches. It wouldn't be surprising to find that the same subpoenas go out to everyone in the hopes that a match will be found. So essentially, the US government knows that someone they're looking for has been buying something from a crypto exchange, but they don't know which one, so they just ask all of them. But this just to give you some perspective about why a lot of crypto exchanges and people in crypto in general are not big fans of how the US has been treating them. This is unlikely to change in the future. We can hope at least that US agencies become more surgical, start requesting the exact information they need to make it easier for everyone, and of course to also limit the amount of data that is being shared, the amount of data that becomes not private anymore. The way I look at it, there are some situations where the government needs to be able to have insight into stuff like this, but they should only have insight into the accounts from a person where they have good information that that person is doing something illegal with that money. And they should never be asking for all information on the platform, for all transactions, for petabytes of data. That is not okay. That should not be okay. Last but not least, Ledger has announced their new hard wallet. And it's a very interesting one. Now, full disclosure, I have a Ledger affiliate link in the description where if you click on it and then buy something from their website, I get a small cut of the profits. So take that as you may. I just want to give disclosure before I talk about them. I'm not being paid to talk about it here. I do think it is legitimately newsworthy, but just so you know, I do have that affiliate link. So if you think I might be biased here, just so you know. Ledger has gone mobile. The crypto wallet company revealed its new Bluetooth-enabled Nano X device Sunday at the annual Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. The added Bluetooth means that the Nano X can readily be used with mobile devices, which has been a pain point for many users of the company's current wallet, the Ledger S. If you have a Ledger S currently, you need to connect it to a desktop computer or laptop via, I think it's mini USB. Much of the world primarily uses mobile computing, never or very seldom touching laptops or desktop computers. The fact that we have a mobile application and it works with the Nano X is really the big evolution of the hardware for this lineup. Ledger CEO Eric Lachevêque, I probably mispronounced that, told CoinDesk during a demonstration of the device. By connecting the Nano X via Bluetooth, it's possible to have the security of Ledger but with mobile's form factor, he said. Ledger devices store keys, but an external application on a computing device is needed to write and send transactions. When we spoke to Lachevêque, he wasn't ready to commit to a price for the Nano X, but he did say that when it goes live, the price of the Nano S will drop. According to the Ledger website, more than 1.3 million Nano S devices have been sold. There's more to the new device too. It has a slightly bigger screen, for example. The screen is important because Ledger's approach to security requires that a lot of actions are made on the hardware device itself. To that end, it also has a lot more memory. Memory might not seem that important for a hardware wallet. After all, it's just storing public-private key pairs for each cryptocurrency a user holds, right? Wrong. This article is talking to me. It turns out that as new tokens make the whole crypto ecosystem more complex, it becomes necessary for different software to interact with different protocols. To maintain Ledger's high security standards, the company made the decision that each protocol has to have its own app for sending and receiving coins. This is very smart, and a company that cares less about security might have not done this, because not doing this is cheaper and less work intensive. We have lots of third-party developers who are developing applications, Lachevêque told CoinDesk. We want to make sure that these applications can only sign transactions for their own private key. This has an additional benefit, Lachevêque said. It means that a user with one app open can't accidentally sign a transaction to the wrong protocol. The Ledger Nano X can store the apps for up to 100 crypto assets, a 6-fold increase over the Nano S. Ledger is making a statement by revealing its new device at CES. It's true that CES is not a crypto show, Lachevêque said, acknowledging that his company has left the blockchain bubble with this appearance. But he points out that Ledger has gotten into the hands of too many users at this point to still be viewed as a niche device. CES seems to have welcomed the French company into the broader world of consumer electronics. According to a press release from Ledger, CES awarded the Nano X with its 2019 Innovation Award in Cybersecurity and Personal Privacy. So, the three interesting things here. The first is that they revealed this as CES, Consumer Electronics Show. That is a big, important show. That is a show where major tech products get revealed. That is a show where every tech journalist in the country is there to write articles to cover it. So they got themselves a really good platform from this, and they instantly got themselves an award too, so that is really impressive. Then secondly, the Bluetooth integration, that was going to come at some point. I'm not sure if other hardware wallets also allow this yet, or if Ledger are the first to do this. But either way, Bluetooth is a relatively secure way to do that. Of course, you still have all your passwords, your phrases, your everything, and you need both the device and the phone to be able to do anything. So this should be just as secure essentially as the previous version. And then thirdly, their decision to run different apps for every single cryptocurrency. Sorry, I just hit my microphone. That is a very good choice. Like I said a minute ago, a company that cares less about the privacy and security of its users would have just skipped this step. But them doing this, that is extra work, that is extra cost, but for extra security. That means if any of those individual apps can be exploited, all the other ones should be fine. That means if there is a weakness in any of them, if there is something malicious snuck into any of them, it will only affect one cryptocurrency instead of affecting all of them. And that is ultimately the best you can possibly do. If you don't have a hardware wallet yet, you should definitely get one, because it is undeniably the most secure way to store your crypto holdings. Now, there is the affiliate link for Ledger in my description. Right now, the Ledger Nano S is a very good product, but like it says here, it will likely drop in price soon when the Ledger Nano X is out. But there are other companies that also make good products. The important thing is that you just have a hardware wallet at all, because ultimately anything you keep on a computer is compromised every time you use your computer. Every time you connect to the internet, it's potentially compromised, no matter how good your safety standards are. And further, if you keep it on an exchange, even a decentralized exchange, you have to trust that exchange. You are opening the cryptocurrency tokens up for yet more points of attack, for potential hacks, for potential scams. And while most exchanges are probably reasonably secure, if you're holding a lot of money in cryptocurrency, you probably want to make sure it's as secure as it can possibly be. And that is undeniably a hardware wallet. So get one. No, doesn't matter which one. If you like my channel, want to support me, you can hit that link in the description, buy one from Ledger there, but just get any for yourself. Really, that is what you should be doing to be safe. And with that, I'm going to end this video. As always, all links to the articles in the description, as well as my social media links and ways to support the channel. If you like my stuff, you can also just leave a like, leave a comment. It really, really, really helps the channel. It really helps me be discovered. So if you like my stuff, if it brings you value, if you could just leave a like and comment under my videos when you watch, that would be highly appreciated. And I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.